This era, the beginning era, I like to call it, to have the top song and album of the year is everything because it doesn't constrict me to a genre. It doesn't constrict me to any type of limitations or walls. It shows people from where I'm from, you can knock down any barrier and be on top of the game if you put your mind to it. The new woman to arms, it made me have tough skin. It built me to be somebody that really don't care about what nobody think. I'ma just go ahead and chase what I gotta chase. You know, that bleed through the music. It's Roddy Ricch from Compton, California.
Roddy Ricch is an interesting case for me. As someone who listens to his music regularly, you didn't expect this man to really make the blow up that he did in 2019 to 2020, beating the likes of Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber, going up and beyond, becoming another hit song with the Baby called Rockstar, making another hit song with Pop Smoke called The Woo with 50 Cent, someone who he clearly respects, as we've seen through little interview sections where they're just hanging out together. It's kind of beautiful. Saying how he evolved from Feed the Streets 1, Feed the Streets 2 to Antisocial, I've always wanted to talk about how I feel about these projects themselves. 3 projects in, and I think Roddy Ricch is doing pretty fucking well. Mixing his own voice to become the talents of Future and Young Thug, something I didn't expect myself to notice until after I got into Future Young Thug. I looked back to Roddy's voice and melodies and see how he mixed them two pretty fucking well. And Antisocial, it's just more evidence of that, of how he can mix voices like this. And I just kind of can't wait to see what he's going to do for the future. But to get right into the topic of the video, today we're going to be ranking his albums. This will be a 2-parter for sure, and I'll be talking about how I feel about Antisocial and Feed the Streets 1 and Feed the Streets 2. I definitely think that they're pretty good projects. Maybe Feed the Streets 1 a little bit lacking, but I can definitely get behind it. So let's get into the worst album, and number 3 would have to be Feed the Streets.
I just trying to run a cake up, Versace sheets just to make love, got a private just to make drugs, cause I'm trying to flood the face up, I've been fucking with the...
I think my main issue with Feed the Streets 1 is its producer tags and its lackluster beat choices. Its lackluster beat choices definitely ruin it to an extent after you see what he made afterwards from Feed the Streets 2 to his debut album Antisocial. People like to give this mixtape a listen to the fact that like it's his first body of work. I understand that Feed the Streets 1 was his first body of work and that he was still fleshing out his voice. I think he was showing his voice inflections early on his album in some tracks, but in all reality, Feed the Streets 1 is very lackluster. It's not amazing as many people would say, in my opinion. I think some of the beat choices are pretty odd. I think some of the songs sound way too similar to be separated. There's so many good examples of that I can bring up. Some songs just really repeat the same thing. But overall, I think Feed the Streets is a perfect start to what he was trying to create, what his mind was putting on. And I definitely see his vision, for sure. So I think for sure that once later on, we'll definitely see what's coming in the future with him, as he shows that Feed the Streets 1 is his first project, and it's one to be proud of, but at the same time, there is a lot of criticism for it, and a lot of issues, and it just shows. Remember, the producer tags are something that you want to keep on a song, but it's just something that you don't want to overdo. Overdoing producer tags is an okay thing, because you gotta credit the producer also as well, paying them. But some of these producers either reset their tags in the middle of the song to restart a chorus, which is I'm fine with. Some artists do that, but it's very odd for this type of choice. Like some songs had where a producer tag would come again, and of course I would play them with copyright thing, but it's kind of annoying because in the middle of the song the producer tag just ruins whatever vibe you started having. You go from Roddy Ricch rapping his ass off into DJ on the beat or some stupid shit like that, and it just doesn't mix well. I also do definitely think that Roddy overused some topics for a few specific songs where they sounded the same, especially in the beat department as well. I think his beats here were limited due to the fact that most of these beats were found through YouTube and bought through licensing in that area, and it makes sense. I'm completely understandable if anyone would buy those beats right there, because they were pretty good for their time as the first mixtape. He got some pretty well done beats, and I think later on he gets the upgrade for sure. And it's kind of cool that he gets the upgrade, because now the producer tags aren't really much in the future of this next one. So yeah, I definitely think that Roddy Ricch has the potential to become one of the more bigger artists next year. We're definitely going to have to see what he's going to do with his potential timings and what's going to be coming for the future. I definitely don't see anything with this album that will repeat the issues that he did in the future. I definitely think he's moved on from Feed the Streets 1 to maybe Feed the Streets 2 aspects and Antisocial. I mostly only see Antisocial in his future features, but at the moment I don't see anything tracing back to Feed the Streets 1 or any mistakes from Feed the Streets 1, which is great because that means he's evolved and adapted to go beyond about what was wrong with that mixtape and what had issues in that mixtape. And I'm very happy to see that he was able to upgrade and, evolve past any issues that mixtape had at the time and at the time of recording. So yeah, let's get into number 2 basically, and I'll get into number 1 in the next video, of course.
I remember we was having pop on them behind, yeah. I get money, I can see the hate inside his eyes, yeah.
I should say, I don't think that Feed the Streets 2 is infinitely better than Antisocial. I think that Antisocial has that sound where it sounds the more professional quality. This is, of course, when Roddy was signed to Atlantic, so you get more of his professional sounding beats, professional sounding performances, and more tools to use. My issue with Antisocial is there's a lot of songs where he takes his influences to the point where it's not that good. I definitely see this with songs like Roll Dice, songs like Boom Boom Boom, and I think that Ty Dolla $ign feature was great, except he kind of got off a little bit and it was kind of weird near the end of his feature verse. I think he called himself a sex god or something, and that just was not it for the album in my opinion. Though I think this album has one of the greatest closures, and it's shown through this chorus that Antisocial is not like an album you can just literally ignore. And like War Baby was amazing. Intro, amazing. And I have to say, those closures in the intro mixed together so well. Then we have the songs like The Box, where he does some of the weirdest things I've ever seen before as a music performer, which was amazing, by the way. Experimenting like he does has been probably one of the best ideas for him I've ever seen. And Antisocial is quite literally that. Him experimenting and putting things together has probably been one of his best ideas. This for sure makes his album a much better listen and a more of an entertainment standpoint. I definitely do see why people like Roddy Ricch because of Antisocial, but I still think Antisocial lags. This is potential where he's trying to tell a story, but unfortunately in some songs he trickles off and goes into his own different territory. This of course does pick up afterwards. I think in the middle there are some areas right there where he falls down and slowly starts rebuilding back into the story position. Unfortunately though, there are some songs, like I said before, Boom Boom Boom, Rolls Dice, and a few other ones where they trickle down from the story aspect or what message he's trying to tell, and it kind of hurts the album. I still think this album is god tier because it's really good because it still tells that story. And those main tracks that tell the story are some of the best tracks I've ever heard from 2019 and 2020 as well. So for sure, I'm very glad that this studio album came out, debut album came out, and it did super well. And yeah, this has been the Roddy Ricch video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I put a lot of thought into this one, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'll be doing the part 2 soon, and then later on, I might even have a DaBaby video coming out. Probably after this year, into 2021, I'll probably do the DaBaby video due to the fact that I just like him a lot, and I have a lot of stuff to say about his new projects. There's some stuff right there. So yeah, I'm your Daily Dose. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and keep listening to Roddy. Part 2 will be coming out soon, and I'll see you all later.